Welcome, everybody, to Lyndhurst Community News. Today is June 7th, Wednesday, and I'm Brian Haggerty. And each week I invite you all to email your news on what's happening around our town, in our schools, clubs, churches, organizations, and sports, as well as, don't forget, special anniversaries and birthdays of note. The whole purpose of this is to bring back local news, to bring everyone together so that everyone knows what's going on around town. Years ago, Lyndhurst everybody knew everybody else, and we still have that to a great degree in this community, far more than others. But as I always say, there are so many new people who have moved into this community who really don't know much about anything, and we want them to feel a part of the community and to let them understand that there's something here for everyone. So, as I say, send in your news, and we will make sure to include it in our weekly broadcast. So, okay, last week, let me just pull this up here. Last week, we reported to you about our young local resident, Mackenzie Gress, who was chosen to represent the USA in the USA Women's Youth National Soccer Team. Now, this week, we are pleased to report that she won in the semi-final against Costa Rica 2-1. They did lose to Mexico 2-1. However, she did earn a silver medal, not only for her team, but also for her country. And she also qualified for the 2024 Women's U20 World Cup next summer. So that's wonderful news. We're all excited for you. And again, congratulations, Mackenzie. We are all proud of your wonderful achievement and your representing of not only your family, your country, but your community. Dedication and hard work always pays off. And when it comes to dedication and hard work, we have another young resident who has also had a tremendous athletic achievement. Kayla Carrino has made history by being the first Lyndhurst female to achieve first place in the Bergen County Meet of Champions, winning her the gold medal with a time of 11 minutes and 43 seconds. Carrino has shown absolute determination on the track after having taken second place in the 3,200-meter run at the Bergen County Indoor Championship back in February. She has now taken first in all three 3,200 meets this month. So congratulations, Kayla. We're going to keep reporting on your great progress. Young, committed, and determined athletes like you and Mackenzie make us all very proud, and you serve as a model and an inspiration for other young, aspiring athletes. So let's see what's going on around town. All right, well, under the direction of Commissioner John Montillo of the Department of Parks and Recreation, they're going to be kicking off the 4th of July weekend with food trucks, novelty vendors, and a spectacular fireworks display, which will be held on Friday, June 30th, 2023. The festivities will start at 6 p.m., and that will be behind the Little League fields on Riverside Avenue. The patriotic exercises will be held at 8:30 p.m., with the gala fireworks display following, as it always does, at dusk. And mark your calendar for Lyndhurst's most popular and sought-after traditions of our Music Under the Stars concert series, which is held from July 12th to the 15th at the Town Hall Park. The concert series is held in conjunction with the Our Lady of Mt Carmel Feast. Now, this tradition began back around 1989 when then-Mayor Louis Stellato began hosting concerts in the park. And in order to make it something to bring the town together, he asked Mt Carmel, who had been holding their annual feast for nearly 80 years at the time, to join their feast with the concert series and move it from the street, the neighborhood around the church, to Delafield Avenue. So it combined the two together. And this coming together of the two events was so successful that the tradition grew each year and has since become one of the highest and most popular events in the entire northern New Jersey region. In fact, those Saturday night concerts, the last night of the feast and the concert series, sometimes we've had as many as 15,000 people in our park and around the area enjoying the festivities. Now, we will report more on the groups who will be performing as we get closer to the event, but for now, just make sure you mark your calendar so you don't miss out. So here's some news from one of our local clubs. The Lyndhurst AARP Chapter 4866 is having a trip to Branson, Missouri for 9 days and 8 nights. This will be from September 16th through the 24th. Now, it's an incredible price of $985 per person, and you don't need to be a member of the AARP to go along. This amazing price includes motor coach transportation from Lyndhurst to Branson, 8 nights of lodging, including 4 in the Branson area. 14 meals are included, which will consist of 8 breakfasts and 6 dinners. It also includes admission to 6 spectacular shows, including Dublin's Irish Tenors, Doug Gabriel Morning Show, and a Neil Diamond Tribute Show. Evening shows consist of Presley's Country Jubilee Show, the Haygood Show, and the Queen Esther Show at the Sight and Sound Theater. Now, listen carefully, because if you're interested, you do have to register by July 9th. You'll need a deposit of $75 per person, but final payment will have to be due by the 9th of July. The price of $985 is based upon double occupancy. For more information about this amazing music, food, and fun-filled trip, please contact Connie Violante at 201-390-0410. Now remember, you don't have to be a member of the AARP in order to take part in this trip. Now, of course, as I said, I always leave, anytime I mention the email address or contact information, I leave it in the description box below the video, so you don't have to worry about running to get your paper and pen to write it down. It will be there. Also around town, there is a garage sale this Saturday, June 10th, from 9 to 4 p.m. The owners are asking that nobody get there too early. 9 a.m. is the earliest they'd like you to get there. It will be held at 279 Castle Terrace. The sale will include housewares, sports equipment, office supplies, collectible toys, pocketbooks, fishing gear, baby gear, some of which has never been used, sports collectibles, and much more. That's another thing, folks. If you're having a garage sale, let us know. We'll be more than happy to include it here, rather than having the signs hanging all around town. Okay, now that's about all the news I have this week, but so many of you with whom I've spoken in the past several weeks have told me how much you enjoy when I share some parts of Lyndhurst history. So, this week, I'll share some more. Now, before our town was named Lyndhurst in 1917, it was actually Union Township. In fact, if you look at the manhole covers on the sewers in town, you will see the name Union Township. Now, interestingly enough, many of you probably have heard that the township's name was Kingsland, but actually, its name was never Kingsland. That's a common misconception. Kingsland was actually the name of a large tract of land located in the eastern part of town. In essence, everything east of Ridge Road. Now, Kingsland was a post village, and it was named after the Kingsland family, who owned the Kingsland Manor. That was located somewhere off of Schuyler Avenue, a huge tract of land. In fact, there is one photograph that exists of it. It's in the Lyndhurst history books, as well as available down at the Lyndhurst Historical Society, located in the Little Red Schoolhouse on Riverside Avenue. This is why then, in 1872, the Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western Railroad established a railway through the township, and they erected a depot in the area named Kingsland in honor of the family. Now, another tidbit is that the current Kingsland train station on Ridge Road was not the location of the original train station. The original train station was located more to the east, at the end of Warren Street. In fact, Warren Street was where my great-great-grandfather Guidetti built his home, as did the Frangipane family, another very old, large Lyndhurst family, and the Stellato family. In fact, the original Guidetti and Frangipane family homes no longer exist. They were located where then the Sacred Heart Social Center had stood for many, many years, until that was razed and replaced with 5 newer homes now. But at the end of the street, by the way, the structure of what was Mayor Lou Stellato's grandfather's little store at the end of the street, that still exists. Now, as for Union Township, Lyndhurst was actually the last of the area lands that remained Union Township. Rutherford, as well as North Arlington and other areas, were also originally parts of Union Township. Now, Rutherford had incorporated into its current borough form of government in 1881, and North Arlington later on in 1896, hence removing themselves from Union Township, leaving what is now Lyndhurst to be the last of the communities there, the last of the land. Now, there's a great deal more to the story, and I invite you all to read about it in our history book. And in March 27th of 1917, that's when the residents of the remaining portions of Union Township passed a referendum to change the name to Lyndhurst Township. And that became effective as of May 15th, 1917. The township is named after Lord Lyndhurst. Now, Lord Lyndhurst was a title of nobility in Great Britain. The actual name of the person who held that title, his name was John Singleton Copley. He was the first Baron Lyndhurst, and he lived from 1772 to 1863. He was a British lawyer and a politician, and he was 3 times Lord High Chancellor of Great Britain. Now, interestingly, he was actually born in Boston, Massachusetts, but when he was 2 years old, his father returned to Great Britain, which is where he was raised and educated. And that's the story in a nutshell. I hope you all enjoyed that, and of course, I'll be sharing more of this throughout, especially the summer when the news dies down. I'll maybe even make episodes that are strictly parts about Lyndhurst, and I'm also going to focus on businesses. We have a lot of local businesses in this community, and it's so important, as I said in the last episode, that we support our local businesses because they are the backbone of the community. And these are just people, ordinary people running a business. We need to support them, and all of us, including myself, need to really learn about all of the new businesses in town that keep opening up. We don't have a local newspaper to announce that. Years ago, every time you had a ribbon cutting, you would have that in the front page of the Commercial Leader or somewhere. Well, we don't have that anymore. That's why we do it here. So, remember, support your businesses. And that's the story in a nutshell, folks. I hope you enjoyed all of that. And with that, we end this week's episode with, again, a reminder to send an email to lyndhurstcommunitynews@gmail.com with any news and happenings in your club, church, organization, school, sport, or birthdays and anniversaries of note. Until next week, this is Brian Haggerty wishing you all a great and blessed day and blessings to our township. Take care, folks.